to have quite a diverse group of scientists, researchers with us today. So what is a typical day at your observatory like? Walk us through a typical day.
A typical day is about, short between operational and, research. And with operational, we see all this work I do, which consists of, measuring volcanic gases as a geochemist, going in the field, collecting, some samples for analysis, and also maybe do some measurements like with the multigas. But at the observatory, we also monitor Lake Kivu, which is a lake full of methane and CO2. And there I go to collect some water samples and gas samples. And also I do some hazards assessment, which of course are related to geochemistry. And there I try to assess the impacts of, Nyiragongo and Nyamulagira volcanoes on surface waters, on groundwaters, on rains, which are used by the populations which live around the volcanoes. And also, as we have, open systems here, both Nyiragongo and Nyamulagira, we try to understand the impacts of, Nyiragongo and Nyamulagira volcanic plumes and, ash on the environment. So this could account for about 70% of the daily work. But of course, there's still some research, which is of course kind of applied, research, and, could do some fundamental research. But of course, you can be in the office, and because we have a center where people come and ask some questions about the volcanoes, about the eruptions, what to do when there's an eruption, those kinds related to hazard, to risk, and everything, questions from the population. And if the guys working in this center have some, special questions that are related to your expertise, they can come in your office or call you in the, center, and there you start to discuss with the, the population or the people who came to the observatory to ask some questions. But of course, you still have also some schools that bring, kind of 50 or 100 students, and there they can tell you to prepare a talk and then discuss with the kid. And this is one of the amazing, moments when working at the observatory, discussing with the people, there you find, the output or the whole work you do in terms of benefit for the population.
Sounds like quite a busy day. Sara?
Well, I really believe this is the most difficult question. I would guess my answer is there is not a typical day in the Volcano Observatory, I think overall. But I agree with Charles. I mean, somehow it is always a blended type of activities what we do here. I think it is. I guess for Iceland, in addition to other places, is a kind of a unique place because the State Volcano Observatory, it sits together with the Meteorological Office, and the activity that we do here, it concerns monitoring volcanoes, but we also monitor the glacier, we monitor the rivers, we monitor the weather. So whatever is the activity that we do, for example, operationally with the person on duty, it is a very multidisciplinary activity and overview. And that's because in Iceland, when we talk about the natural hazards, it is really it is really a process that always includes different type of, how to say, ingredients. Again, it could be the volcano impacting the atmosphere, but could be, you know, the glacier and the geothermal activity beneath the glacier that could be important to monitor through the rivers, telling us about the status of the volcano. We have two very active seismic zones in Iceland. Now we had a very important seismic swarm in the north with a magnitude 6 in the sea. So the activity here, it is strongly oriented towards the, again, seeing how much the different ingredients, earth, atmosphere, and ice interacts in this country. Said that, a day, then this means that it includes meetings with people. I mean, somehow we are really trying to coordinate a lot of activity. The IMO is mainly based on 3 departments. I work in the monitoring and forecasting departments, but then I work a lot with the research department. And then of course there is the technical department. These are all those that are responsible for maintaining the network, the data streaming, and so on. And the work is not easy, right? Because there are requests coming from the operational that go down to the research and to the technical, but then there are issues, and most of the time the work is fixing issues. But the work is amazing, and we work on a lot of projects, that is projects both on at international level, so with other volcano observatories, other research institutes. We work strongly with the University of Iceland here, as somehow they are really bringing in, for what concerns the volcanic hazard and the volcanology in a broad sense, what is the expertise from the field. So the real volcanologists, if I can use this word, they mainly are in the university. So, and that's why we are somehow complementary with them. I work a lot on the contingency plans. So what I'm trying to make sure is that in case a new eruption will start, the person on duty will know exactly what to do. And it might sound odd, but these contingency plans, they are reviewed really often. And that's because luckily the technology and the tools and whatever changes quickly. So new resources are available, new type of data processing are available, the connection with the institution changes. So we are always reviewing the way how we are figuring out how to respond to an eruption. So we work a lot on checklist, procedures, and then we practice them regularly. So each month then we have exercises to make sure that everybody that are taking shifts, they know what to do, who to call, how to interpret the data. We work a lot with the VAC, the Volcanic Ash Advisory Center, and with all those in Iceland responsible for the aviation sector. And now again, we have the Grímsvötn volcano that it has been showing signs of reawakening, well, more than reawakening. I mean, we are saying that it's getting ready for a next eruption. So the last month, it has been really, busy in, okay, are we then sure? What if it will start? Are now all the new procedure in place? Should we add all these phone numbers to the list? Are the emails just in place? So that's something that, again, eventually takes time. In my spare time, I work on numerical modeling. Again, this is still my, pet job. So I like to use a model to make sure we will be capable to quantify the dispersal of ash, and both on the ground and in the atmosphere. But then again, to build up an operational system that you can rely on whenever it happens, whatever it is during the day, during the night, then it needs to go through a lot of technical requirements. And then all the work with DIT is so important, because then we want that the system will be fully operative, and again, that hardly it will go down, right? We want that we can rely on it, and whoever is on duty knows it is up and running. We work a lot with the civil protection, so then of course, and other stakeholders. So then we have regular meetings with them, for which we have to prepare. Most of the time they want to know, okay, which is the status of these volcanoes, what is going to happen, which are the most likely scenarios in case of this event, which are the potential hazards. And again, all this, it's a matter of building up knowledge, making capable to present the information and the results to them. And so the preparation behind such events, it is long, it takes time. And then again, given my role, what I'm really trying to do, and now even more given the Grimsvotn situation, is that all the instrumentation that we are supposed to operate in case of an eruption, they are in good health, they are operative, they can be moved, they can be streaming data, we can access the data, we can visualize the data, and that whatever is supposed to be available to those on duty, that again, we rely so much on those that are making the monitoring 24 hours a day, they will have in their hands whatever they need to move forward. And again, communicating, giving an overview about what is happening, and being capable to, having access to all those information that are vital to communicate properly to all those stakeholders, and again, end users that we work with. So no typical days, but a lot to do.
Yes.
That's for sure.
So, Annalisa, tell us about Italy. Iceland seems quite busy and quite exciting. Tell us about Etna.
Okay. Well, personally, I usually organize my day depending on the more upcoming deadlines. Obviously, I try to spend as much as possible time to research activities, but there are some activities that cannot be neglected. These are, for example, meetings. So project meetings, meetings with the researchers, the colleagues of my research group to discuss and organize about our research activities, organization, and future plans. And sometimes there are periodic meetings with the other colleagues of all the observatory. To discuss about common issues, and then other operational duties include, for example, the preparation of reports, project reporting. Everything is bureaucracy. But in my observatory there is also a control room that is operative 24 hours per day, where there are two people for three turns during the day. So one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one during the night. And then there are a lot of different kind of researchers that can be that should be available in case of some kind of emergency, like volcanologists or seismic expertise or deformation and so on. I try to help in volcanic lava flow hazard assessment. So if there's a volcanic emergency, we are called to provide some forecasting scenarios about lava flow inundation, especially at Etna and Stromboli. But sometimes we are available to work with other colleagues from other research institutes, so to collaborate and work on other volcanoes. So we focus on the Sicilian volcanoes, but we are open to all the experience.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Thomas?
Yeah, As I would also agree that there is no typical day here. For me, there would be two categories: when this volcano is erupting and when it's not erupting. When it's erupting, I think the additional thing that needs to be done, apart from when it's erupting, is sampling ejected material, whether it be from pyroclastic flows or from explosion, tephra from explosions. But basically, what we've got set up in Montserrat, we've got 2 UV networks, which my job is to make sure that they're operating all the time, daily. If there is a problem with them, then I relate that to the technical guys who would know how to fix them, because they're the ones who would have installed them and set up the telemetry. But the UV networks, basically, they weren't just bought like that. The initial one that we got was a NOVAC network, which was done in cooperation with INGV Palermo, where I did some work with Fabio Vita and Salvo Indragito. The other UV network is courtesy of some work we're doing with University of Manchester and Mike Burton. And then we've got a permanent multigas on the volcano as well, which is also in cooperation with Giancarlo Tamburello. I think he's based at Bologna now. So we actually spend a lot of time working with outside institutions, outside universities and individuals to help us get our monitoring techniques up to where we need them to do. So during peacetime, as it is now, when the volcano isn't going bang, bang, there's a volcanic plume, which needs to be measured, and that will be done by using the UV networks and the multigas. And as I said, there's nothing coming up for us to sample, because this volcano has been quite famous. So the majority of products that would have come out of it over the years would have been looked at and written up in terms of papers. So in terms of research, for me, it's mostly degassing for this volcano at the moment, unless there's new product coming out of it, then I could sample that and start having a look at the petrology and geochemistry of that.